I'm Laura Engel, and you're in the strategy room. After pushing the issue over the past few elections, the GOP seems to be taking a different approach to health care in 2016. While some Republican presidential candidates are still calling for a full repeal, the party is starting to look at ways to reform the current system instead. Here with their take are political strategists Matt Keelen and Kelly Grace Gibson. Welcome to you both.
Hey, Laura.
Thanks. All right, Kelly, I want to start with you. Looking at Obamacare and looking at a repeal, is it still realistic, do you think?
Well, it doesn't seem to be. Obamacare has helped 20-plus million Americans get insurance that didn't have insurance before. It's working. There's a great majority of people that have no interest in going back to the way it was before. So it seems that the GOP taking efforts to change the story, move on to things that are more practical and effective for the American people is a good turn on their behalf.
You know, and Matt, as we look at the numbers, in the first quarter of this year, 11.9% of adults in the U.S. lacked insurance. That's down from 18% in the third quarter of 2013 before the current expansion. Those numbers coming to us from Gallup. So with that in mind, Obamacare repeal, realistic or not?
Well, under this president, it's not realistic. But under a Republican president in a couple of years, it could be. In the meantime, I think the Republicans are doing a smart thing about talking about what their solutions would be. And Laura, look, when we talked about health care reform a few years ago, most Americans were looking for better quality at a lower price. Right now, we're getting worse quality at a higher price. And to say that, for the Democrats to say, listen, we're not going to make any changes to this law because it's biblical for President Obama is a mistake. And certainly, many Democrats on the Hill agree that there are changes that need to be made. So around the edges, while we're at it, I think Republicans are doing the right thing to try to make it a better system than it is right now.
And Kelly, you know, this is obviously, it's going to be an issue during the 2016 campaign, but just how large of an issue do you think this is going to be?
It seems to be, it will forever be an issue because healthcare is important for all Americans, and the fact that so many more Americans have healthcare now that didn't before is a plus in the right category for this country. I think that it has been an important agenda item in President Obama's administration, and the future candidates and the future presidents will have their own list of agenda items that they'll pay attention to. So it's always important to continue to talk about how to make the healthcare system better for all Americans, and I think it's important that members from both parties keep that on the table. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out in this election.
And Matt, real quick to you, in terms of where this healthcare, where this rides on the list of concerns, how important do you think it's going to be in the 2016 campaign?
I think it's going to be important. The interesting thing, Laura, I think will be to watch the Hillary Clinton campaign to see whether or not they're going to run on Obamacare. Right. Electorally, Obamacare has been a graveyard for Democratic candidates. There's over a dozen U.S. senators that have lost election or not sought re-election because of Obamacare on the Democrat side. So really the question that I think is going to be the most interesting is to watch how Hillary Clinton deals with this electorally.
And Matt, let me stay with you there. Well, do you think that Democrats will try to spin the GOP's new strategy with health care?
I think that they'll try to turn it on the Republicans about throwing people off of health care, which is not what Republicans are talking about. They're talking about better quality at a lower price.
All right, Kelly, what about you? Do you think Democrats are going to try and spin this in any way for the GOP's new strategy with health care?
I mean, it's still politics, right? Spin is part of it. But, I think that there have been, there's been versions of a healthcare plan given by the GOP that are different, but not wildly different from Obamacare. So, yes, I think both parties are going to take their own angles on it. But like I said before, it's an important issue. It deserves being discussed on both sides of the aisle. And, we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But I think it's an important thing to stay on the table, and it deserves the time.
Well, one thing we know for sure, it is going to be interesting. Matt and Kelly, thank you very much to you both. And we want to invite all of you to check out foxnews.com for more on the 2016 presidential race. I'm Laura Engel. Thanks for watching.